So I was thinking about that thought yesterday about the body being the temple of the divine, and asking myself that question that we talked about yesterday: who is it that worships at this temple? And yesterday that thought occurred to me that the beloved worships at this temple, and that I'm like a little altar rat that steals the offerings as enjoyment. But the real theater of what's going on is the sacredness of the worship and the worshiper in the temple. And that is the sacredness of life and of living, or at least a metaphor for that. And last night I was laying there falling asleep and I thought, gosh, that's a pretty bold thing to think of. I wonder if I overstepped my bounds by saying that God worships at this body, this temple of the body. And this morning I got up to do my reading in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, like I often do, and I picked the random verse, as I often do. Swami Vedananda used to do that and give it some amount of import that the universe chose this verse to be read at this moment. So I went along with that. And this morning's verse I'm going to read to you. It's really incredible because it's apropos to that whole idea. It says, "A devotee cannot live without God. So also, God cannot live without his devotee. Then the devotee becomes the sweetness, and God becomes the enjoyer. The devotee becomes the lotus, and God becomes the bee. It is the Godhead that has become these two in order to enjoy its own bliss. That is the significance of the episode of Radha and Krishna, the two lovers." So that talks about that ideal. And I thought, what a beautiful thing that I am an occasion for the marriage of Radha and Krishna, that I am the temple within which God enjoys the bliss of worship, the bliss of the devotee. And that all of this beauty, even as you look out here in the desert around me, these amazing things that God has offered through the senses of this temple, offered to himself to enjoy his own bliss or her own bliss. And I thought, what a marvelous idea to try and live with that kind of awareness of the beloved, that I am his bliss, that I am the occasion for the love of Radha and Krishna, that I am the apex where the bliss of God and the bliss of the enjoyer, that manifestation of God, where they meet, that I am that intersection, this body, this mind, and what a holiness that brings to life.